Good food should never go to waste, and Kit Kat manufacturers stick to this rule. It was spotted once that messed up Kit Kats ended up in a large blue bin. Then, they go through a reworking process. The candy is first combined with cocoa liqueur. Then, some sugar is added there, and in the end, the manufacturer gets the paste that's used to glue the waffles inside each Kit Kat bar. So the Kit Kat filling is made of messed up Kit Kats. Rhubarb stalks are safe to eat, while its leaves are kinda toxic because of the oxalic acid they contain. This fact is pretty boring, but what if I tell you you can literally hear it grow? This guy grows so fast that the buds crack open and you can hear a specific sound. Some people even claim they hear rhubarbs creaking constantly during the growing season. If you think corn kernels are only yellow, prepare to be surprised. There's rainbow corn. It's not the gift of nature, but rather selective breeding. This type of corn is called glass gem corn for a reason. First off, the kernel indeed looks like it's made of glass, and as for gems, the jewel-colored ears do look like precious stones. Each kernel is unique. This kind of corn was selected over many years by Carl Barnes, a part Cherokee farmer and breeder from Oklahoma. People who made popcorn with this corn claim the popcorn is colorful too. Worcestershire sauce wasn't invented deliberately. Back in the 1830s, Lord Sandys came back home to England from India. India is famous for its delicacies, but Lord Sandys especially loved one sauce. He went to a drugstore where he asked two chemists, John Lee and William Perrins, to prepare something similar for him. They prepared a whole batch and intended to sell it, but the veggie and fish odor was so unpleasant that they decided to keep the batch in the cellar for some time. Soon after, they forgot about those barrels with sauce. Obviously, the sauce got fermented. The chemists only rediscovered the batch 2 years later. These guys must have been adventurous eaters since they tried it, and it was mellow. Hey, look at those French fries. Yeah, some of them have a few unusual black spots on them. If you're a fast food lover, you've probably seen it at least once. It's not anything bad, and it doesn't mean these fries are not suitable for eating. These are just so-called pockets of sugar. The reason why they appear is simple. If the French fries are stored in the refrigerator, the starch they contain turns into sugar. When the cook gets them out of the fridge and starts deep frying, the high temperature makes the sugar on the outside cook before the inside is fully cooked. So basically, these are just extra caramelized spots. The downside here is that those sugars can leave a burnt taste. Carrots have their sugar trick too. They're way sweeter in winter. Thing is, carrots developed a kind of physiological response to stop ice crystal formations. Those formations can damage the carrot, and increasing the sugar content helps prevent it. If you ever see duck sauce, just a piece of information for you. It has nothing to do with ducks. It's really sweet to taste, and the main ingredient is fruit stones. Plum, peaches, and apricots provide the best stones. To spice it all up, it's necessary to add sugar, vinegar, ginger, and chili peppers. Sweetness and spices are mixed together, making this sauce a perfect condiment for all sorts of spring rolls and many other fried and salty dishes. It's hard to believe it, but the cheese puffs we all love used to be rubbish in the 1930s. One day, Edward Wilson noticed that some corn got squeezed out of one of the machines at a factory that produced flaked food for animals and formed ribbons. Those ribbons seemed curious, so Edward decided to take them home and season them. He also noticed that the puffy corn hardened if it was exposed to air. The experiment turned out to be a success, so it was later developed into a world-famous snack. What's in common between peanut butter and an engagement ring? Both of them contain diamonds. A scientist from Germany learned how to turn peanut butter into diamonds. He extracted the oxygen from CO2. He got the carbon and then put it under intense pressure. In the end, he got real diamonds. Sounds easy, but it's not. He took ordinary peanut butter and pressurized it with powerful machinery. The pressure was 1.3 million times higher than the air around us. Then he heated it all to temperatures that can be found 500 miles below the Earth's surface. Technically, the scientists simulated the way crystalline structures are formed in the Earth's lower mantle. So if you already grabbed a jar of PB to turn it into diamonds, grab some Jell-O and bread too. A sandwich is the only thing you can do without special equipment. One more tricky question for y'all. What contains more protein, a steak or broccoli? The answer is broccoli. There's a teeny tiny detail though. It contains more protein per calorie than meat. So 100 calories of broccoli will give you more protein than 100 calories of meat. Another bonus is that broccoli doesn't have trans fats and cholesterol. The last riddle here, promise. So, what's more energizing, an apple or a cup of coffee? Sorry, coffee fans, apples are as good as your favorite drink. So the next time you feel you're low on energy, try to grab an apple instead of a double espresso. Apples are rich in minerals, vitamin C, carbohydrates, and fiber. So they will give you as much energy as coffee can give, probably even more. People still don't know exactly how potato chips were invented, but one legend claims they were invented in 1853 by a chef at a luxurious Saratoga Springs, New York restaurant. People loved French fries there, but one customer wasn't satisfied with their quality and complained they were too thick. George Crumb, the chef of that restaurant, had to cook thinner French fries. The picky client wasn't satisfied once again. The chef got really mad at him, no surprise. It was the third time he cooked the same dish for that client, so he deliberately made those fries paper thin. The batches were so thin that it was impossible to eat them with cutlery. Surprisingly, the finicky eater finally loved the dish. The recipe soon went viral and potato chips appeared in all the American grocery stores. The only thing that changed, it was intended as a hot dish but turned into a fast snack in the end. Fancy a fruit salad? If you ever want to grow all the ingredients for it, you don't really need separate trees. All you need is a multi-grafted tree. It can have different varieties of the same fruit or completely different types of fruits. It's possible to grow up to 6 different fruits on one tree. The Caesar salad has nothing to do with ancient Rome and Julius Caesar. This salad is Mexican, and its story started in Tijuana. It was invented by accident by restaurateur-chef Cesar Cardini. One day, he simply ran out of food, but it was in the middle of a large celebration. All he could do was throw a bunch of random ingredients and present them as a salad. The unique dish had a huge success and spread all over the world. There's one thing that's not unique about this salad today. Many supermarkets offer their version of Caesar salad with a white mayo-based dressing. Originally, the dressing was yellow and it had a whole range of ingredients. To cook it, you need to mix minced garlic, anchovies, and raw egg first. Then you'll need to add some olive oil. The last part requires lime juice, Worcestershire sauce, Dijon mustard, and sure thing, salt and pepper to taste. Voila! Even if you think sprouted garlic isn't suitable for eating, it's not really so. The only problem you may have is that sprouted garlic tastes harsher. So you don't want to add it to salads, including the original Caesar salad. But I guess you wouldn't even notice its harshness if you add it while cooking. Imagine you just woke up in a world where all the chocolate you can eat is pink. That beautiful, glowy ruby chocolate instantly creates sparkles in your eyes. And before you know it, your mouth is watering. You grab the pink chocolate between your hands and finally take a bite out of this piece of art. It tastes good, but it doesn't really taste like chocolate. There's a widespread debate on whether pink chocolate is the 4th type of chocolate or not. We have dark, white, milk chocolate, and now ruby? Not exactly, but don't worry, we'll understand why. Ruby chocolate appeared on the market in 2017 through a Swiss-Belgian company called Barry Callebaut. How they make chocolate pink is a manufacturing secret, but they did open up a little about the process. You might not know this, but it takes a while before you can get from a cocoa bean to a chocolate bar. After harvesting the cocoa pods, one has to dry and ferment the cocoa beans. This process of fermentation is usually what gives the chocolate its rich and complex flavor. Then, you have to roast the beans, which is when they'll acquire the dark chocolate color we're used to. After grinding the beans into cacao nibs, the last part of the process involves melting the nibs into a type of chocolate sauce that will be mixed with sugar, butter, milk, or whatever you wish to mix it with. Some beans are naturally purplish, and they change into a darker color during the fermentation process. But to make ruby chocolate, manufacturers have to halt the fermentation somewhere in the middle. That's how they preserve some of their original purpleness, which added with a few other secret ingredients can become pink. If this video is stimulating your taste buds, you can go outside to the nearest convenience store and look for a ruby Kit Kat. You'll probably notice that pink chocolate has a similar texture to white chocolate, but it has a slightly sour and fruity taste. That's probably due to the fermentation process we just talked about. In case you can't find a pink Kit Kat outside, there's another recipe that gets close enough to the original ruby chocolate taste. According to chocolate expert Angus Kennedy, you can chew on a piece of white chocolate. Add some raspberries and a little piece of milk chocolate. That's more or less what a ruby chocolate bar will taste like. Oh, fun fact, there's also a wide debate on whether white chocolate is actually chocolate or not. Scientists argue that we can't call it white chocolate because it doesn't have any cocoa beans in it. White chocolate is simple cocoa butter mixed with sugar and has some vanilla to add to the flavor. Other studies say that what is legally required to call something chocolate is a simple percentage of cocoa fat. And if that is indeed the rule, well, then white chocolate could be called chocolate, no problem. Anyways, why did pink chocolate get so popular? The thing is that we don't eat only with our mouths. Eating involves all of our senses. The size, shape, color, and surface texture all play an important part in how appealing a food might be to us. The smell will also determine a lot of our eating desires. Crazy as it might seem, the smell of something can already activate your taste buds. But primarily, we eat with our eyes. I mean, look at this beautiful pink chocolate ganache. And this ruby chocolate mousse. It's aesthetically pleasing and looks like you're about to eat one of the colors of the rainbow. Yum! Eating with our eyes has been a reality for us humans since the beginning of time. Let's take our primate ancestors as an example. Science speculates that primates might have developed a trichromatic vision to spot the nutritious and colorful fruits among the dark green canopy. I'm betting that even looking at all these delicious images of food is making you crave the things we're talking about. But our brains aren't all that smart when it comes to eating, and we're easily tricked. For example, if you drink a pink liquid that tastes like a banana, it will take a while for your brain to process it correctly, as your normal expectation is for the drink to taste like strawberry. Another study shows how our brain perceives roughness as a quality of healthy eating, even when that's not exactly the case. If I gave you a piece of rough brownies and soft ones and asked you to eat the ones with fewer calories, you'd probably choose the rougher ones. This study from the Journal of Consumer Research shows that foods with rough textures feel heartier and healthier, even if they have the same nutritional value as softer versions. That's why we eat granola bars and trail mixes thinking we are eating super healthy when they are very high in calories. Even today, we are masters at eating with our eyes. Social media stimulates the first thing you do once you order food is to take a picture of it. The prettier the plating and the food itself, the more likes a person is likely to get, and the more a restaurant owner can sell dinner platters. On the bright side, it seems like cuisines all over the world are getting more and more inventive. Have you ever heard of a rainbow bagel? The internet was obsessed with this bagel a few years ago, and rightly so. The dough of this pastry looks more like Play-Doh than something edible. But it's a spectacle for the eye and extremely popular amongst young children and adults alike. It's like eating sunshine, one of its admirers says. The brighter the colors, the better in this case. And what about edible everyday items like a hairbrush? I swear this is a cake inside. As much as it might feel weird to eat a hairbrush cake, it's also very cool. This new social media trend is pretty surprising and filled with odd edible items such as edible Polaroid cameras, edible hand soaps, edible water bottles, edible handbags. Really, the list goes on. Acai bowls are also pretty popular today in the social media world. That luscious shade of bright purple topped with perfect rows of granola, pumpkin seeds, and oats makes my mouth water just by looking at it. But cuisine is getting a little bit exaggerated to grasp the attention of consumers around the world. I'm thinking here about Burger King's Quintuple Burger. It's 5 Whopper patties, 5 slices of cheese, and 5 rows of bacon. You get the picture. It's over 2,000 calories in just one burger, which is more or less the nutritional amount an average person needs to consume per day. It's certainly shocking when you look at it. Imagine eating it. Still, our need for food to be aesthetically pleasing has its downsides. In supermarkets, we tend to choose those fruits and vegetables that we consider perfect. But this means that a lot of the ugly food gets thrown in the trash because nobody wants to buy them. Sure, we eat with our eyes, but it's important to be aware that just because a fruit came twisted or weird looking, that doesn't mean it won't meet our nutrition needs. A Singaporean project called Ugly Food is trying to make a difference. People can buy blemished food in their online grocery stores. According to the company, consumers are invited to increase their acceptability threshold. Another project that's changing the meaning of the quote, "we eat with our eyes," are restaurants that offer blindfolded dinners. Since 1999, restaurant owners have offered their clients the experience of eating without using their sight. Naturally, this experience heightens the other senses, like taste and smell. A 2002 study also shows that those that eat blindfolded can eat up to 22% less than those that see what they're eating. According to this study, blindfolded people would get satisfied much sooner than those that weren't. This would literally mean that our eyes are bigger than our stomach. Meaning that if the food looks appealing to our eyes, we could be driven to take much more than we normally manage to eat.
You decide to try a new coffee brand that has a nice golden packing and proudly says 100% coffee on it. But it tastes nothing like your favorite drink. Don't blame yourself for being the worst barista on the planet. The substance you just purchased might just not be the real thing at all. It's so expensive because of how it's made. Coffee plants can't be hurried to grow. Depending on the type of coffee, it takes a coffee tree about 3 to 5 years to start bearing fruit. Coffee farming is a people-powered industry, from planting to processing. Coffee farms are often huge, so you need many workers to plant all those new trees. And it takes about 2,000 hand-picked Arabica coffee cherries to make a single roasted pound of coffee. If you want to get the best out of the variety of options, don't fall for labels saying 100% pure coffee. If it doesn't say 100% Arabica, they must have mixed in cheaper Robusta beans, which can make your coffee taste bitter. Check the roasted on date for freshness, not the best by date. When a brand offers a gazillion artificial flavors, it's a sign they're not confident in their beans' quality. A good roaster might have a few unique flavors, but not a whole buffet.
In Japan, you'll find wasabi all over the place, but chances are, if you've tried it outside of that country, you've had a fake. True wasabi doesn't come from your regular horseradish plant. It's more like a root vegetable made from the underground stem of the wasabi plant. This stem is grated to make the real wasabi paste. Growing wasabi plants isn't easy, as they only like clear, running stream beds in Japan's mountain river valleys. That's why the real thing is so pricey. Fake wasabi is usually a mix of regular European horseradish disguised as the real deal. You'll find it in squeezable tubes, little packets, or as a powder you mix with water. These products often contain just a tiny bit of the real stuff, usually 1 to 3%. It helps cut costs a lot. If you want to check if you've got real wasabi, check the texture. If it's super smooth and pasty, you're likely dealing with pureed horseradish. But if it's got a gritty feel, like it was freshly grated, it's more likely the real deal. Authentic wasabi is always served fresh because its flavor and zinginess vanish quickly once it's grated. The only Parmesan that you can really call this way gotta come from the Emilia-Romagna region in Italy, especially Parma, or a certain part of Lombardy. There are only about 300 certified dairies in that area that can make genuine Parmigiano Reggiano. And they've got to age it for at least a year to get those super important umami flavor crystals going. Some of it ages for up to 100 months or longer. The authentic Parmesan wheels are marked with a DOP stamp, Denominazione di Origine Protetta, basically saying it's the real deal from the right place. Italian Parmesan is easy to find in most stores, but there are other options that can be cheaper. That's because American-made Parmesan only needs to be aged for 10 months, and some graded blends can have up to 4% fillers, like rice flour or wood pulp cellulose. The legit Parmigiano Reggiano cheese only has 3 ingredients, and one of them is milk from cows raised in the same region. Plus, they've got some strict rules about what those cows can't eat, like fermented grain.
Maple syrup fans, this one's for you. Did you know that to produce your favorite pancake topping, artisans have to tap maple trees that can grow more than 5 stories tall, extract sap, and then boil it down? It's an age-old craft passed down through generations from indigenous peoples to modern-day syrup makers. But many of the bottles with sticky sweet syrup inside have nothing to do with that process. Pancake syrup, or table syrup, is a mix of corn syrup, caramel coloring, and flavoring. If you see these ingredients on the label, it's a telltale sign you aren't dealing with the real maple syrup. The consistency of your purchase is another giveaway. The authentic maple syrup is runny. That's why you can pour it easily. Pancake syrup is thicker and stickier. The price can't always give away a fake in this case. It can be affordable even for the real product. Another item that often gets counterfeited is designer bags. To make sure you're buying the real thing, give that purse a good feel. If it's supposed to be leather, it better feel and smell like it. Counterfeiters often skimp on quality materials. Check out the zippers, buttons, or any metal parts. They should feel solid, not lightweight or cheap. And of course, no chipping allowed. Look closely at the seams. Sloppy or uneven stitching is a big red flag. The inner lining is another giveaway. Feel it and make sure it matches the brand's quality. Pay attention to the brand logo. Authentic ones are all about the details. The same goes for the label inside the bag. Get familiar with how it should look so you can spot any slip-ups. Check the number and placement of pockets. Each model has its own design. If it doesn't match up, something's fishy. Shady dealings with extra virgin olive oil date back to ancient Rome. Back then, tricksters would sell low-quality oil or mixes under the fancy Evo label. Nowadays, most legit extra virgin olive oil comes from Spain, Italy, or Greece. They produce it by squishing ripe olives without heating or chemicals. Good Evo might cost you around $10 for a 17-ounce bottle. Fraudsters have gone undercover amidst real producers, making it tough to spot the fakes. But you have more chances of finding the real thing if you avoid blend or light varieties on the label. Check the pressed-on date. It should be less than a year old since the oil loses its fruity vibe after a couple of years. If there's a harvest date and details like the producer's name or olive type, it's likely legit. Some high-quality oils note the free fatty acidity, FFA, level, which is a good sign. Don't automatically trust fancy packaging or high prices. Even an expensive bottle can be past its use-by date. If you like to cook, cinnamon, mint, nutmeg, sage, and other spices must always be in your kitchen cabinet. But you can't be sure you've got the real thing unless you're prepared to pay a hefty price for them. When you break it down by the pound, some of them, like vanilla and saffron, are as pricey as precious metals like silver and gold.
And where there's value, there's a dark underbelly of fraud. This multi-billion-dollar industry is a playground for tricksters looking to make a quick buck. If you don't want to add something fake to your meals, the best you can do is buy the spices whole and grind them yourself. If possible, try to find a retailer that sells spices in bulk. You'll be able to see them yourself, and you won't miss the aroma of real cinnamon or oregano. If you're planning to buy a designer watch, look closely for any blunders or defects on the watch. Designer watches are usually made with high-quality standards, so things like chipped paint, scratches, or spelling errors are rare. Also, check if the clasp works and if the watch keeps accurate time. Genuine designer watches have precise, clear engraving created by skilled watchmakers. If the lettering looks messy or hard to read, chances are it's a fake. Designer watches are made with valuable metals and intricate parts, so they should feel a bit heavier than they look. If a watch feels surprisingly light, it might be fake. Real luxurious watches have unique serial numbers that should be precisely laser-etched, not sloppily printed. Make sure these numbers match the case and warranty numbers. Simply search online or contact the manufacturer's customer service to confirm you've got the real thing.
So you're watching your favorite cooking show when suddenly the star chef adds a pinch of salt to some jam that's supposed to go into a dessert. You pick up the phone to call and complain, but right then the chef explains. It turns out that adding salt to fruit is a common thing in different cuisines across the world. Like in Mexico, they like to spice up mango and citrus fruits with salt and chili powder. You can try mango with a shrimp taste in the Philippines and salted watermelon in the southern states. So, how does it work? Well, let's say you're eating a raw mango sprinkled with salt. With the first bite, you notice the salty flavor, and the sweet, fruity taste is then slightly delayed. It feels as juicy and amazing as ever. It's most likely because salt affects the sweet taste receptor for sugar, and then really magic happens on a molecular level. One study even found that we have more sugar detectors in our taste cells than scientists previously thought. One of those detectors must direct sugar to a sweet taste cell when it gets in contact with salt. You can try and put salt on any fruit you like, but the effect will be different. Salt can make sweeter fruits like cherries and strawberries even sweeter and balance the flavor of grapefruit, pineapple, and watermelon. Just take a ripe fruit and slice it the regular way and sprinkle the pieces with salt. Large, flaked sea salt might taste more intense, plus it looks more beautiful. After 10 minutes, your gourmet dessert will be ready. So, you need to chop up a heap of iceberg lettuce, but that tough core in the middle doesn't want to leave. Just hold the lettuce head in both hands with the core end down and slam it against a cutting board or some other solid surface, not your brother. Now you should be able to pull the core right out of the bottom and slice the rest of the lettuce without a problem. The next time you take butter out of the fridge and struggle to spread it because, it's hard as a rock, reach for your grater. With its help, you'll easily flake off tiny pieces of butter that will melt instantly on a warm toast. You can also spread them much easier on cold bread without putting your sandwich in the microwave or waiting for a while to soften the butter. Professional bakers approve of this tip and have been using it for a long time. When you're frying something, you first heat the pan and then put the food on it, right? Well, this logic won't work if you want to make your bacon crispy. On a hot pan, the meat will cook before the fat can melt out of it. Your bacon will be too fatty and rubbery. So you gotta lay the strips on a cold pan and then turn on medium-low heat. The fat will render out of the meat, and the final result will be super yummy and crispy. Have you ever tried boiling pasta in a frying pan? I know it sounds a bit weird, but it can actually help you save a lot of time, water, and energy. Instead of filling a huge pot with water and waiting for it to boil, put your pasta in a frying pan and cover it with cold water and add some salt to it. Your pasta will be cooking while the water is getting to the boiling point, so it'll be ready much faster than normal. And the water that's left in the pan will make an excellent base for a sauce because it's filled with starch. Mix it with pesto, tomato sauce, and garlic butter. It tastes like it's straight out of a gourmet restaurant. Now, the secret to cooking the most delicious and fluffy mashed potatoes is to dry them before you mash them. After boiling, you can either put them in a pot and leave them over low heat on the stovetop, or keep them in a baking sheet in a low oven. Then add melted butter that will coat the starch in the potatoes, and only then slowly add milk. Now your mashed potatoes will have the best possible structure and flavor. If you've shed enough tears over onions when trying to slice them, this one is a must-try for you. Peel the onions, cut them in half, and leave them in the fridge in a bowl of iced water for half an hour before you start cooking. The reason behind your tears is the sulfur that onions take from the soil while growing up. When you damage its cells, the acids contact the enzymes that start a whole bunch of reactions and release a chemical that makes your eyes water. Freezing the onion can weaken that chemical. To minimize it even more, only use a sharp knife to slice onions. This way, you'll do less damage to its cells. It's much easier to peel an avocado if you freeze it first. Just put it in the fridge as it is, give it some time, and then take it out and hold it under warm running water. Now you can peel it easily after you make a couple of crisscross incisions. The best way to keep herbs fresh and juicy is to store them like flowers. If you don't have the right size vase or vase, take a mason jar or a water glass and fill it with 1 inch of water. Now put the herbs inside as you would do to your roses. For parsley and cilantro, cover the jar with a plastic bag and store the bouquet in the fridge. Basil loves sunlight, so you better leave it uncovered on the counter. If you've made too much sauce or have some leftovers in a can that doesn't seem to be enough for anything, you can save it from the trash can. Pour the sauce into an ice cube tray and keep it in the freezer. Now, if you need to spice up a meal, you can always add a couple of sauce cubes to it. Plus, as a bonus, which is redundant, the sauce will last longer this way than it would in the fridge. Do your meatballs always turn out to be perfectly the same shape and size? Then skip this one. But if you're like me, just use an ice cream scoop to get the right amount of your minced meat mix. Try saying that 5 times. The balls will be the ideal shape and your fingers won't get sticky. The easiest and probably the most beautiful way to slice a mango is to turn it into a hedgehog. Wash the mango under running water. Don't squeeze it while doing it. Now put it straight up on a cutting board and cut it into 3 pieces from the top downwards. Just leave that flat pit in the middle piece. There isn't much you can do with it anyway. Now your mango will have 2 cute cheeks. I mean, its fattest parts. Next, make crosswise and lengthwise cut in the mango cheeks. Leave some even distance between the incisions and don't go all the way through the skin. Now press on the back side of the mango until the flesh pokes out. Does it look like something to you? Yep, a hedgehog. Hence the name of this slicing method. The final step will be to slice off the mango cubes into a bowl. Then eat. Now this one has all the potential to become your new breakfast favorite. You can cook an omelet in a mug. Take a large microwave-safe mug and coat the inside of it with olive oil or spray it with cooking spray. Add 2 eggs and 1 tablespoon of milk and mix them with a fork. Now add salt and pepper and any cheese, veggies, and herbs you like. Put it in the microwave on high for 30 seconds. Take it out, stir it with a fork, and then put it back for another 30 seconds. And voila! Your breakfast is served. Oh, be sure to use another mug for your coffee. Otherwise, you get eggs in your coffee, and nobody has a recipe for that.